Okay, and we're back. So I just talked about how the whole wedding bit is becoming debased because people are getting very, very spoiled, especially we women in particular. I know that we want to have the most perfect day, but when you are yelling at people and screaming at people and fussing and cussing and hurting feelings and making yourself look like an idiot on national television just for this one day, I mean, come on. When do we draw the line? And the one thing that you have to remember is if you're going to put all this time and effort and energy and money into these things, damn it, make sure that you're with the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life. And make sure that the relationship is strong and sound, and that you know one another, and that you're willing to commit to one another for a long time. Now, that's the next thing about the whole marriage bit that's bothering me. First, it's the whole idea of shelling out all this money for this one important day. Wow. Sorry, my back itched. Okay, the second thing that is getting to me about the whole idea of marriage is people are going into their relationships and they're not really knowing one another. They really, really don't. They don't take the time out to really know, learn, and understand the person that they're with. Okay? Trying to get comfortable. Okay, so you got people who are in relationships. Okay? And I have known couples who I'll be talking with, like, maybe, like, say, the girl, and this happened. This was actually a true story. This happened about a decade ago, but it's still relevant. About a decade ago, I knew this girl, and we were talking, and she was talking about how she was in this relationship with her boyfriend, and that the relationship was starting to become serious, and that she wanted to marry this guy. And she was like, "Oh, I know we're going to be together for a long time because we've already been together for a long time." And I said to her, "Well, how long have the two of you been together?" And she said, "3 months." 3 months? That's no time at all. What can happen in 3 months? So, and it's not just girls who do it. It's guys who do it as well. I could talk with some guys, and they'll say the same thing. "Oh, I've been with my sweetie. I've been with my girl. We've been together for a really long time, and we're in love, and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Okay, well, how long have you been together? Since you sound like you really in a long-term committed relationship." 6 months. 6 months? I don't know. To me, I think a relationship is more than just a few months. Now, maybe I'm not being fair. There are some relationships out there where there have been people who met like a few days or a week or 2 weeks, and by the end of the month they were married and they lived happily ever after. Okay, those instances are rare. It does happen. I knew a couple that met in a short period of time, got married, and they stayed married for 20 years. It can happen, but a lot of times it doesn't happen. It really, really doesn't. And for the most part, you got a lot of the people out there just doing these like little hookups, and they'll be with each other for a short period of time and think that just because that they're with one another for a month or two or maybe 6 months, that they're ready to traipse down the aisle. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You have to really get to know one another before you can go out and commit to somebody like this for the rest of your life. This is a lifetime deal. I mean, I know there's divorce attorneys out there, but it's supposed to be till death do you part. And nobody does that anymore because there's way too many distractions in this world. The type of couples that I love seeing the most are little elderly couples. Little elderly couples are so cute. I love seeing little elderly couples when they're about maybe like 70 or 80 years old, and you can see that they've been married for 6 years. I mean, 60 years, 6 years, 60 years, and they're sitting on a park bench and they're holding hands and they're like feeding the pigeons and stuff like that. That kind of stuff is sweet. Even to see them kiss, it's sweet. It's adorable. That I like, as opposed to younger couples who are my age that gotta put on this big freaking show for everybody to see. I mean, tongue all over the place, damn near like hands, like octopus hands all over the place. And it's like, you want to go up there and say, damn it, why don't you just lay down on the floor and get it over with already, okay? So, it's sickening in a way. You got the young couples that are like hot in the ass, and then you got the older couples who have like a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience and know how to make their relationship last, even though they had a lot of bumps in the road and a lot of arguments and a lot of fights. Couples of today, they get into one argument and they're ready to throw in the towel. Or they just argue constantly and they get on everybody's nerves and they bring out drama everywhere and they just bother everybody with their relationship. You know, there's that. I just believe that people should really get to know a person, each other, well before they are ready to commit to one another. And don't be so quick to say I love you so fast. There are some people who they marry for the worst reasons, and that's the next thing that I'm going to get into. But when I say that they don't know one another, it's like they'll be with each other for like maybe a few months and they're hot and heavy and the sex is great and all that kind of good stuff. And the next thing you know, once they're married and time has gone by and they get to know that the person has a lot of bad habits that they just cannot tolerate, like all of a sudden you're with this guy and you find out the guy picks his feet at the I'm just going to say dining room table. Oh, God, no. But he, like, picks his feet on a coffee table. Okay? No, that's gross. Or you got a wife who is very, very farty right before her menstrual cycle. Okay? We have bad habits, a lot of bad habits. And you should really get to know the person and find out what their traits are and find out what habits they have, and if you can live with this person and know that I'm going to be with this person for a really long period of time, and they might have some traits that might really, really bother me. Let me really get to know this person so I can see if I can really be with this person and tolerate their behavior. And a lot of people don't do that. They just jump right in hot and heavy and they don't think about who they are getting involved with. They don't take the time to really learn about the person and learn who they are and what they like and what they feel within themselves when they're with said person. And this is something that you really got to think about if you're going to take that step. Okay, now I'm going to go to the third and final part, and that'll be coming up in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. In case you're wondering, yeah, I really do like to talk. Sorry.